Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm thrilled to offer the amendment in nature of a substitute H.R. 8183 Match Act. This bill will help our workforce system keep pace with the rapidly changing economy. Too many Americans have valuable skills they cannot easily articulate, while too many employers struggle to find the talent they need. This bill helps close the gap by supporting modern workforce data systems, talent marketplace, portable skill records, and voluntary job-related skills assessment. For a veteran, this could mean translating military training and hands-on experience into skills a civilian employer might need. For a student, it could mean much fuller an understanding of what skills they possess and how those skills and others lead to a dynamic career pathway. The ANS makes several changes to the original bill. It converts what was a permanent codification of the Workforce Data Quality Innovation Initiative into a focused 5-year pilot program with annual reports to Congress, independent evaluation by the Government Accountability Office. It also strengthens learning and employment records by requiring skills to be supported by verification or real-world experience as voluntary and evaluated skills assessment tools, and it reinforces privacy protections by requiring an individual's consent before personal information may be disclosed. The amendment gives individuals greater control over their information, protects privacy, and helps employers hire based on demonstrated abilities. The current version of the bill was crafted in a spirited bipartisanship, and I'd like to express my thanks to my friend, Representative Macbeth, for reaching across the aisle and working in good faith to find common ground on this legislation. Her partnership reflects the bipartisan commitment we share in ensuring that every American has a fair opportunity to demonstrate his or her skills and succeed in the workforce, and that every child has a clear skills pathway to their dream career. Match Act is recognizing that people can do and what people can do and giving them a fair shot at opportunity. I urge my colleagues to support this ANS and the underlying bill. I yield back.
The gentleman yields. Are there any other members who wish to be recognized? The gentlelady from Georgia, Ms. Macbeth, do you wish to be recognized?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I wish to speak in strong support of the amendment and the nature of the substitute.
You are recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you to my good friend and colleague, Chair of the Higher Education and Workforce Development Subcommittee, Burgess Owens. My staff and I are really proud to have worked with you and your team over these past few months on the Match Act, a bill that will ensure workforce data is interoperable and portable between states, explore and evaluate talent marketplaces, and make it simpler for every working adult in our country to get a good job and to keep it. Almost every good job today requires some sort of credential after high school. But even though most Americans will not go to college, our workforce system relies more on 4-year traditional universities than it does on programs that working people are more likely to participate in, things like apprenticeships and competencies and other short-term licenses and credentials. Our workforce system has become too reliant on 16 to 24-year-olds making one-time, difficult-to-reverse decisions involving loans that they may never be able to pay back. Decisions that are exorbitantly expensive, decisions that students and workers are told to make without knowing all of their options. Credential registries and talent marketplaces help solve this problem by putting everything together in one place for students, families, workers, and employers. Whether you're a 17-year-old deciding what degree is going to set you up to pay back your loan at UGA or Georgia State, or a 50-year-old with a family that needs to know what short-term programs you can take part in as soon as possible to get back to work, there will be one uniform place that everyone can go see and compare credentials so that they can make the best decision for themselves. Getting a good job and keeping it takes time and effort. It is something that takes constant upkeep. It can't be solved by focusing too heavily on the front end of a person's working career, as we have seen. Regular people will spend their entire working lives trying to keep up and stay relevant. We need a workforce system that meets people where they are and helps them adapt to the world around them. Talent marketplaces, credential registries, and bipartisan efforts like this make it so there's a single place for people to go to make these decisions instead of having to jump from place to place looking for what classes or jobs might show up on a quick Google search. It shows people exactly where to go to find good employment and helps them get there. No more just hoping that your credential will get you where you want to go. Now people can see and compare the full universe of options that they have, that they've always had, but they didn't know about them. As I've said so many times before in this committee, you don't have to go to college to be successful. It certainly helps, though, but there are so many other viable options and pathways to building a successful and fulfilling life for yourself in this country. This bill helps put all of these options together in one single place where people can make the best decision for themselves. I ask for unanimous consent to enter into the record this letter of support for the Match Act from Scott Cheney of Credential Engine, who testified before the committee during the Higher Education and Workforce Subcommittee hearing on labor and employment records late last year.
Without objection and hearing none, it'll be entered.
Thank you. I know that this committee can be contentious, but that does not mean that we can't find ways to work together to make life better for the American people. That is our charge. And my staff and I try to extend the same benefits of the doubt that we hope would be extended to us when working with offices belonging to the opposite party. And this is what happens when members really listen to each other and not attack one another. I mean, actually listen to hear what the other person is saying and working to comprehend what they're saying, not just itching to come up with the best retort or waiting for a slip to take advantage to prove your point, but really listening to what is being expressed. So Representative Owens, I know that you don't have very many more months here left on this committee, but I want to thank you, and I do want to commend you for working with me and my staff, and I encourage all of my colleagues to support this bill. I hope that we can pass this unanimously through this committee today, and I hope that all members, all of us, would work to make sure that we get this signed into law before the end of this Congress, and I yield.
The gentlelady yields. Are there any other members who wish to speak on this amendment in nature of a substitute? I recognize the gentleman from Virginia, the ranking member, Mr. Scott, for purposes of speaking to this amendment in nature of substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just very briefly, I just wanted to thank the gentlelady from Georgia, Ms. McBath, and the gentleman from Utah, Mr. Owens, for their work together on this bill. They made significant improvements on the original bill, including converting the bill's grant program into a 5-year pilot, adding a substantive program evaluations, standardizing terminology to ensure that systems can work across states and institutions, and adding provisions that will give workers more control over what information is in their learning and employment record and how it's used. I would hope that we'd pass the bill, and I yield back.
The gentleman yields.